You are absolutely correct in saying that you can worship on any day, but that's not the question here. The debate, question, controversy is on which day the Sabbath is. You need to be spending time with God daily. But what day did God command us to come together and worship? To worship Him on His holy day. When? In Genesis chapter 2, it says God created the Sabbath on the seventh day of the week. And because God created the days to cycle evening to evening, it's sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. Here in the fourth commandment, God makes it known once again that the Sabbath is the seventh day. He did the same thing in Exodus chapter 16 as well, and Deuteronomy 5. Here in Isaiah 56, God even says the Gentiles who keep the Sabbath, He will take to His kingdom. Here in Isaiah 58, God very clearly commands Sabbath observance, not any other day of the week. He also defines it as being His day. Here in Isaiah 66, the Bible says the Sabbath will be kept in heaven, not any other day, the Sabbath as holy. Here in Matthew 12, Jesus says He's Lord of the Sabbath, not Sunday through Friday. Mark 2, again, He says He is Lord of the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man, not one particular ethnic group, not one religious group, all man. So when John was in the Spirit in the Lord's day, he was in the Spirit having his vision of revelation on the Sabbath, not Sunday. Now the Sabbath is so important to God that in Revelation 14 verses 6 and 7, the Bible quotes from the fourth commandment and calls it part of the gospel. Why? Because the Sabbath commandment shows the exact same truth as Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8 and 9. You are saved by grace, not of works. The Sabbath is a reminder that we cannot save ourselves. We can only be saved by trusting in Jesus and what He did for us and is doing for us. When we look at the Sabbath commandment, we also see that it is God's seal. It has His name, His title, and His territory, as any kingly seal does. In fact, in Isaiah 8, verse 16, it says, "Seal the law among my disciples." God's seal is the Sabbath. And one more very important point is that in the book of Acts, the Bible records the early churches keeping the Sabbath over 80 times. It is often claimed that the book of Acts shows Sunday observance, but never once does it show Sunday observance. The question you need to ask yourself is, do you love Jesus enough to keep His commandments, including the fourth commandment, regardless of any persecution, ridicule, loss of job opportunities, economic hardships, in the face of anything? Do you love Jesus enough to keep His Sabbath and all of His commandments? Keeping any other day as a Sabbath is an insult to God. He created one Sabbath, sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. Do you love Him enough to keep His commandments? You gotta decide that for yourself.